This is the Dunning-Kruger effect or the Dunning curve for the beginners without the proper knowledge or without the proper guidance. The high confidence, you fall into the valley of confusion and valley of despair. These are the 7 points which makes all the difference. Discuss this MAC formula, that is mindset, approach and consistency, and to provide you with the proper roadmap for your UPSC 2026. I will be conducting a webinar as said by Charles Darwin. Ignorance more frequently begets the confidence than does the knowledge. Similarly, there is a very famous Dunning-Kruger effect in psychology, which says that the lack of knowledge or skills in certain aspects leads to a person overestimating his or her confidence, and overestimation of your own competence ultimately leads to a failure. This is also applicable in context of your UPSC. If you are planning for UPSC 2026 and if you don't have a proper mindset, proper roadmap, that is the approach, and the consistency in your preparation, there is a possibility that you will also fall into the Dunning-Kruger curve. So let's see. This is the Dunning-Kruger effect or the Dunning curve for the beginners without the proper knowledge or without the proper guidance. Right? So if you see at the beginning of your preparation, right, when you start the basic NCERTs at that time, because of the basic nature of it, you are very high on confidence, right? You feel, yes, I have got it. But when you shift from the NCERTs to the standard books, and when you gradually start to understanding the depth that this exam requires and the overall content that you have to develop, along with the confusion with respect to the content that you have to follow, with respect to the tests that you have to attempt, right? So gradually from the high confidence, you fall into the valley of confusion and valley of despair, majorly because of the overwhelming content and distractions, which ultimately slows down your preparation, and after 3 or 4 years you reach to the plateau of saturation and your dream of UPSC is never realized, right? Whereas if you see the rankers who don't fall into the Kruger curve, okay, why? Because of the proper mindset, approach and the consistency in their preparation, right? These are the 7 points which makes all the difference, right? The process focused preparation, exam oriented approach, ruthless self assessment and course correction, the depth over superficiality, humility to learn and unlearn, that is the attitude to accept their mistakes, and the ability or the eagerness to make the corrections. Next, the structured mentorship and the peer feedback, which is very essential with respect to the fault finding and course correction, as well as your overall approach building, right? And last, strategic iteration, that is once their syllabus completes in the process centric manner, all they do is the strategic iteration where their focus is on practice, consolidation and corrections and value additions, right? So this is the path which each and every topper has always followed, and for this, along with the proper roadmap and the mentor guidance, what you need is the MAC, that is the soft skills that are going to make the difference with respect to your UPSC preparation. The first of all is the mindset, where your mental resilience, the self-belief and emotional control is essential, as UPSC is 1.5 year process, right? Even if you start from the month of April, your exam is going to be on, prelims will be on May, and then mains will be in the September. So it's more than 1.5 years of the process. So your emotional resilience and this self-belief, okay, is very much essential in order to ensure the consistency, the confidence, as well as the resilience into your preparation. Next is the approach, right? Once your mindset is ready and once you are ready for this 1.5 year journey, okay, all you need is the proper roadmap. That is the strategic planning, syllabus mapping, and smart execution. Here you have to prepare the proper schedule. Firstly, the weekly schedules, and then you also need to have a broad schedule in your mind which you will be following and which through which you will be finishing your syllabus. Once that is done, all that is needed is the practice and consolidation. Apart from strategic planning, the second thing that you need is the syllabus mapping, which we also call as the exam oriented preparation, where you align your resources with the PYQs, right, which gives you an edge which normal aspirants lack because they don't know where to focus, right? And the third is the smart execution of your plans, where your accountability to the mentor is essential. And the last is the consistency, where your discipline and long term momentum is important, right? Because UPSC requires a lot of dedication, sacrifices, and consistency, right? So if you see the answers of, or if you see the journey of the Animesh, right, this is the list of the 38 Samachar Manthans that he wrote throughout his preparation of 1.5 years. Every week without failing, he attempted his Samachar Manthan papers, right? And this consistency, mindset, and with proper approach, he started on 18th February 2022 with the beginner level, right? Within a year, with the consistency, he reached to the level of the rank holder on 17th of January 2023, where he wrote his last Samachar Manthan, and after that he shifted to the prelims. And after the prelims, from the level of the rank holder, in the 3 months, he reached to the level of the topper. If you see, you can clearly see the difference in the structuring of his answers, right? So to discuss this MAC formula, that is mindset, approach, and consistency, and to provide you with the proper roadmap for your UPSC 2026, I will be conducting a webinar on 13th April, that is on Sunday at 7 p.m. Please do block your calendar and join the webinar. Thank you.